Joining us now is NBC's Sahil Kapoor from Capitol Hill, and also with us, MSNBC legal correspondent Lisa Rubin. Before we get to what's going to happen on the Congress side, Lisa, you have important new reporting about Hegseth. What is it that you're learning?
Ali, I obtained a divorce decree in Pete's divorce from Samantha Hegseth, his second wife. And in that 2018 document, there is a provision that obligates the parties not only to not say negative things about the other in front of their children, but broadly commits them to refrain from engaging in any public discourse about the other, including through traditional or social media, that would be disparaging, and also to take reasonable steps to encourage their friends and family to do the same. That is not what we would call a traditional non-disclosure agreement. However, the wording of that non-disparagement provision is so broad that one divorce attorney told me that it could operate effectively as a restraint on speech, that it could prevent someone like Samantha Hegseth from saying anything about her former husband that could be construed by his side as negative and may be an important disincentive for her speaking out now. That could explain, for example, why she hasn't given any public statements other than a very tersely worded denial to NBC News of any physical abuse in her marriage, Ali.
And the other piece of this, Lisa, is during the confirmation hearing, Hegseth said he wasn't aware of any non-disclosure agreements that he was a part of. So you're saying that this is kind of same, but different. But was that a lie?
You know, Ali, that's for other people to judge whether it was a lie. I will tell you that Senator Tim Kaine, who is the person who posed those questions to Pete Hegseth, I asked him last night whether he felt that Pete Hegseth's answers to him were either untruthful or misleading. And through a spokesperson, Senator Kaine came back and said, yes, he does, because this is sort of a distinction without difference. It's not entitled non-disclosure agreement. And I want to be clear with you and our viewers. A non-disclosure agreement is the kind that says you may not speak about X event or X person. That's not what this is. But again, functionally, it is broad enough to inhibit a reasonable person, particularly a person that's already prone to this. This is not just an agreement. It's a court decree, from saying anything that could be construed as negative. Samantha Hegseth has denied physical abuse in her marriage, but she does not deny, in the statement she gave to NBC News, a whole battery of other allegations made by her former sister-in-law, Danielle Hegseth, in that affidavit that was submitted to the Senate Armed Services Committee. That includes allegations that Samantha Hegseth was so fearful of Pete Hegseth that she hid in the closet once to protect her safety, and that she had a code word that she used with friends and family, including Danielle Hegseth herself, in case she ever needed to develop a plan to escape from her ex-husband, Ali.
Sahil, the first thing I think of when I hear what Lisa is saying about the non-disparagement agreement is the fact that one of the senators that's reluctant to support Hegseth is Senator Thom Tillis, who in a statement to our team yesterday basically said, if I talk to anyone who has a first-hand account of any of these allegations, maybe that would move me, but I can't find anyone who has first-hand accounts that confirm them.
Yeah, Ali, we'll find out in about 9 hours whether this moves any votes. I'm not convinced that anything is going to move Republicans at this point, for the simple reason that this is all happening in a political context. By that, I mean Donald Trump, as president, is at his moment of maximum political capital, and he's chosen to spend it on confirming Pete Hegseth and these other controversial nominees, pressuring Republicans pretty vigorously with the support of his outside allies to get in line on these nominees. The basic structure of the Senate, as you know, 53 Republicans, they need 50 senators to confirm a nominee. There are only 2 Republican senators with any meaningful history of going against the company line. That is Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins, both of whom are voting no on Hegseth. Murkowski's grievances with Hegseth are very notable in her statement. She said she doubts his basic qualifications and judgment, past opposition that he's had to women serving in combat, allegations of financial mismanagement, sexual assault, excessive drinking, all of which Hegseth denies, as well as infidelity in his past, which he does not deny. There are some Republicans who sounded skeptical at first, like Senator Joni Ernst, but she's now a yes. I talked yesterday to Senator Roger Wicker, the chairman of the Armed Services Committee, said he's not surprised. He understands why Collins and Murkowski are voting against Hegseth, but he's ironclad in his view that Hegseth is the right man for this job.
Well, the White House also seems like they're doing their unofficial whip counts, because as Trump was leaving the White House just in the last few hours, he seemed to think that in addition to Murkowski and Collins, that McConnell was also someone likely to vote no. He's also on our list, but ultimately we will see how this vote shakes out later tonight. But this is just one, Sahil, of many controversial nominees. That battle is going to continue next week. Can you talk about what the schedule is looking like?
Oh, yes. So let's start with the Senate floor. After this 9 p.m. vote on Pete Hegseth, there's going to be a procedural vote to advance the nomination of Kristi Noem for Department of Homeland Security. Senator John Thune, the majority leader, has also teed up floor votes on Sean Duffy for Transportation Secretary and Scott Bessent for Treasury Secretary. Then next week, I would suggest for everyone watching, circle the date Thursday, January 30th on your calendar. That morning, around the same time, there are going to be 3 confirmation hearings happening for RFK Jr. for HHS Secretary, Kash Patel for FBI Director, and Tulsi Gabbard for Director of National Intelligence. Ali, I would expect there to be fireworks in each one of those hearings.
I think you're absolutely right. And of course, that date is circled on my calendar. Sahil Kapoor, Lisa Rubin, thank you.